For some people, it's just a regular Wednesday night, but we Lucha Underground fans go to Slam Town. That's right, folks. Smash This Podcast is live for your Lucha Underground Season 3, Episode 6 review. I'm your host, JAYBONE, and alongside me, as usual, is Mr. Mile High Laz. How the hell are you doing tonight, dude?
I'm doing all right, man. It was an interesting episode. A lot of wrestling. I got to realize the magnificent aerodynamics that Masquerita Sagrada actually has.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you could – I want to see Tom Brady throw him, like, in a spiral, just – Come on, dude. Like, I mean, could you figure that out, man? Like, what would they call that? Would that be like Lucha Gate? Like, I don't know what they would call that. I have no clue.
It'd be Lucha Bowl.
Nice. It's Lucha Gate. Like, so yeah, was your luchador underinflated? I don't believe that's any of your affair.
As his arms are flailing, going through the air.
I don't believe that's any of your affair, sir.
I don't know, that might push the budget of Lucha Underground through the roof if we start seeing guys like, and anyone from the NFL roster show up in the temple.
No, dude, I want it to be like the old school, like IWA, like Mid-South, where the Houston Texans and the Cowboys and all those guys would just, or not the Texans, the Oilers at that point, they would just show up and sit ringside and it was a shoot.
Oh,
like, that's when it got fun. Like, they thought it was a fight, so you got a bunch of drunken NFL players, they're ready to fight, let's fight.
Like, when I think of football and wrestling,
you don't think the WrestleMania Battle Royal, right?
Yeah, like when William Perry jumped in there and he kept trying to pull up his pants during the match. That's what I think of, and that right along that goes with what you like to call wrestle silly.
What? What? You're telling me that Lawrence Taylor couldn't actually beat Bam Bam Bigelow? Oh my God! My entire worldview has been destroyed. I'm sorry, guys. I have to go and reevaluate a lot of things.
What WrestleMania was that? Before we jump into this episode,
Taylor Bigelow?
Yes,
11.
I'm gonna have to watch that again because that
WrestleMania was atrocious.
Yeah, that was the headliner, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the main event.
Dear God.
Dude, that was the main event of a WrestleMania. I mean, like, dude, Bigelow, dude, I love the idea of Bam Bam Bigelow. I love the shape of a man like that who can do a fucking cartwheel.
Oh, like, Bam Bam was awesome. Yeah.
Like, come on. But it's like, dude, I'm glad he got his WrestleMania main event. I wish it wouldn't have been against Lawrence Taylor. And right. I really wish that he wouldn't have taken the dive to Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah, poor guy. I hope he was paid well. Well, let's get into
sure
this.
He was well compensated. I'm sure he got another tattoo on his head. It all worked out.
Right? Got that inked up good. But let's get into this episode before we get too far off track like we always
do. We're not talking WrestleMania 11? Dude, I was ready to go.
Shit. Wrong episode.
Oh, damn it. Dude, I was ready to go. WrestleMania 11, man. I was ready to really break down that shoulder block that Lawrence Taylor threw off the top rope that Bam Bam Bigelow had to throw himself in front of. Or else Taylor would have missed him completely.
Anybody tuning out and be like, what the hell? They advertised Lucha Underground. What the hell is
this?
Dude,
it's Lawrence Underground. We're here.
It's
okay. It's Lawrence Underground. This is the Lawrence Taylor hour. We're going to talk about the highlights of Lawrence Taylor's wrestling career that consisted of about 11 minutes. And we're going to turn it into an hour. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, dear God, help us. All right. So
Dude, I'm telling you, like, we're losing a potential audience here.
Laz always smokes the best shit before our shows. I swear to God.
What? I have no idea what you're talking about. Dude, this is natural. I am just like this all the time.
It's a natural high.
No. This is the crazy that nobody wants to talk about, but it's there and everybody. This is its forum. I just let it go. It's kind of like taking it to a dog park. I know there's a fence. It'll run within it, and then we'll go home, and it'll take a nap. It'll be great.
Right.
So, episode. My God, we're getting on target. Here we go.
Episode 6, The Open Road to Revenge. Starts out with a backstage vignette of Azteca Jr. getting ready for his match with Pentagon Dark, which I'm sure everybody was excited to see, but Chavo decides to pull a
what are you talking about, dude? If Michael Cole were to announce this would be called Vintage Guerrero.
You're right. Like,
that's what this is.
What's really interesting about this is how they shot this. When Chavo attacks Dragon Azteca Jr. and he beats him down with a chair and he starts just wailing on him, and it's from the view of Dragon Azteca Jr. laying on the floor.
That was some clever camera work. I really, really enjoyed what they did there. That was clever editing.
If you're a wrestling fan and you're also a Walking Dead fan, it made you want to see the season 7 premiere of Walking Dead even more. It's like, oh my God, that was Chavo's chair to Negan's Lucille, you know? That's what I got out of it, you know, and I was just waiting. I was just waiting.
I was the nerdy one for one to talk WrestleMania 11. I see how it is. Okay.
Yeah, I upped you one there. I would have wanted the blood to run down the camera as I was looking up at Chavo. Then that's the only way I would have made it any more like awesome, you know.
Yeah, but see, I think that you run that you're running the risk of like going into like basically gimmick infringement for Rodriguez and Tarantino.
Yeah.
So,
but nonetheless, that it just, and depending on when this was shot and made, it's well, that doesn't really matter. But still, I thought it was awesome, you know.
Oh no, it was great.
And then Chavo's leaving, he passes Ray, and Ray and Chavo lock eyes for what seemed like 10 minutes, but it was only like a couple seconds. And Ray then, walks into just a dismal, like the lights all went out after, like the life got sucked out of the locker room after Azteca Jr. got attacked. And then Ray runs to his side, screams, looking upward, Chavito, or whatever he screamed,
That was okay. Now, my one critique of that was, dear God, I hope Rey Mysterio's creative idea is not a drama. Because I'm sitting here going like, oh no, like that's not good. No.
Was that a little too soap opera-ish for you?
Oh, dude, that was straight out of a novella, man. That was like all that needed was like underneath it, like even though it was said in English, it needed to be like underneath it, like screams in Spanish or something. Like that's all you would have had to have done there. That would have just completely put it over the top.
And of course, and I'm skipping forward here, but the segment where Chavo goes into the office with Dario at his desk there, and he wants to get put in the match against Pentagon, and Ray actually cusses in the promo, walks in, and he says whatever he said, but the one word that stuck out, obviously, which everyone reacted to on Twitter, was shit. He's like, oh no, you're not getting away with that shit, or something like that. And
Dude, because they're finally realizing that they are working within the boundaries they are given. Robert Rodriguez basically said, keep it under cunt, and we're good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, I like the fact that they're not going overboard with it. We're not talking like Attitude Era, but we're talking where it's used. When you hear it, it's basically like a dog whistle. Like, you're like, oh, like, did he just say what I think he said? Like,
yeah,
you go from kind of paying attention to way paying attention.
Yeah. Yeah, and it goes the same with Vampiro and Matt Stryker. When something absolutely insane happens in the ring, they let a few, you know, shits and, you know, whatever fly, which is it just makes everything.
The thing is it makes
for that brand more authentic.
Yeah, it makes it feel real.
Yeah.
The response is real. Like, that's the one thing that I hate, like, with all of the, I mean, with a lot of your other commentators, the response is so measured.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, that was a Michinoku driver. No, Michael, that was a Blue Thunder bomb. You've called that incorrectly for the last 10 fucking weeks.
Like, the most authentic thing there is Mauro Ranallo screaming Mamma Mia. I love
and even that's forced. Like, even that's forced. Like, the guys that I've really been enjoying their call, like, I don't listen to them a lot in their primary day job, but their part-time gig in New Japan. Kevin Kelly and Steve Corino are funny as hell. They're great because you can tell that they were basically told, just go have fun.
Yeah. And
they went, so...
No, especially when you get stuff like what happened a week or two ago when you've got the guys like Kevin Sullivan coming out messing with them, and then just all sorts of weirdness happens. I don't know if you
Dude, I love it. Like, that was pure Lucha Underground, dude. I love it. That was Lucha Underground meets Florida Championship Wrestling.
Yeah.
Championship Wrestling of Florida, or Championship Wrestling in Florida.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the name of the original, but yeah, but you know, it was like straight up like Purple Haze stuff. Like,
yeah,
I'm ready for that. Like, I mean, that look to me was like, I'm like, dude, that's Lucha Underground. Like, holy crap, Kevin Sullivan was Lucha Underground 30 years ago.
Yeah, right.
Like, that's insane to me.
Yeah. Yeah, and to see something crazy like that show up in Ring of Honor is just like, whoa.
Yeah, and the fact that it's coming back, like, I'm like, that is so cool that, like, they went back and they grabbed something that far back, and it's like with anything, man, what is old can be made new again.
Yeah, you just got to do it right.
Correctly. Exactly. Like, that's what the thing I'm enjoying about this whole season. It's like, I mean, about this whole show is they're giving us, I mean, the women's equality thing, I mean, I really, really like the fact that the girls were in taking bumps with the guys. I know there's a lot of people that are kind of just, whoa, like they can't do it.
Yeah, they're not used to that, yeah.
But at the same time, to me, it's like, I look at it, people are like, well, that's domestic violence. No, it's not. I'm like, I know for a fact that this is a choreographed dance. And if either one of these two parties ends up injured, it's because of a mistake. Yeah. It's not because somebody hauled off and hit somebody.
Well, how is that legal? Oh, because there's a referee.
How is that legal? Because it's on your television. It's like, because it's on your television. Like, yeah, like, you think, like, if this is like, what do you think? This is the first nationally televised underground fight club? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, yeah. Like, if my wife hits me over the head with a frying pan, that's a little different, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
did I go too far?
No, you never go far enough. Like, and especially if you're using me as a thermometer of going too far, I'm gonna be like, dude, if you register to me to everybody else, you're gonna be like, oh my god, can't even do it. Just no. Can't do it. No more.
Can't what? Can't even.
Just can't. But yeah, I mean, like, the first match, which was, I love Masquerita Sagrada. Love him.
And this is the
realize
first time
how important he was to me until tonight.
Yeah, and this is the first time
plancha?
we've seen in a while that he's actually been able to show off a lot of in-ring stuff. Now, granted, it takes it, and I'm not trying to. This is not me trying to knock on him, so please don't take it like that. Anybody listening to, it says I understand that with him being a mini, there has to be, I'm guessing, extra work involved to make sure that everything looks like it flows in the ring. You know.
Well, you got to remember, man. These trained professionals.
Oh, absolutely.
Have been taking these bumps forever.
Oh, yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like the person taking the bump is taking the bump the same way they always have.
Yeah.
It's just that they may have to help the momentum a little bit. That's the only difference.
It's we as wrestling fans who watch, I watch more WWE based stuff than anything else besides this. So this is all still like, holy cow, we haven't seen this since, my last memory of minis or whatever they call it politically correct.
Holy cow, man, you would have to go back. Like, if you're WWE centric, you'd be talking like the Max Mini age. That would be like the early mid 90s.
Oh, like before that, I think even. But I'm thinking like back when Hillbilly Jim.
Oh, wow, you're talking back in like the Little Beaver days.
Yeah,
Little Beaver, Little Tokyo. Like you had like the 47 racist midget gimmicks. Yeah, that was a definitely a 5-star day for WWE creative that day.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think. It was Hillbilly Jim had those guys, and then there was always someone on the heel end of it. And I'm trying to think who was that? Was it Bundy and someone?
Well,
or was it Kamala?
Bundy squashed a bunch of minis at at WrestleMania 2.
I can't.
That was the match where he ended Little Beaver's career. Basically ended up causing so much damage to his chest, like he never was able to work again.
Oh my god. Yeah, a lot of that is blurry. I have like specific little memories
from
like mid to late 80s.
Yeah, that area was pickled in good bourbon. So, like moments of clarity come and go from that era.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's fun. And like the thing that killed me, like I was on the verge of dying laughing. I actually rewound it back and watched it while the show was still on. Was that plancha that he hit was the real fucking deal.
Oh yeah.
Holy crap. That was like Cuerno has the arrow from hell. That was like the lawn dart from hell. I don't know exactly what you would call it, but it was amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go back and watch that again because there was so much goofy action. And I'm not going to call it Wrestle Silly, although there was a little bit of goofiness in there.
What are you talking about, dude? The motorcycle and the sidecar to come in, that was a great touch.
Yeah, that was. The place blew up for that. Yeah, I was going to mention that Havoc and Masquerita Sagrada rode in on the sidecar. I was like, oh, nice. What was also interesting is Famous B, being the manager, he wrestled in this match, but he didn't have his ring gear on, so that was kind of odd. I don't know. It kind of reminded me of Bobby Heenan or Jimmy Hart getting thrown into a match back in the old days, and they just had their whatever they were wearing. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. Famous B and Dr. Wagner came off with a win, and this was actually Famous B's first Lucha Underground win. And I was kind of like, wait, what? Oh, yeah, that's right. Because he really hasn't had a lot of wrestling, actually, in Lucha Underground. I think he was on, the first episode, possibly the first match, but he really hasn't had, anything significant. He was always like a enhancement talent, up until last season where they made him a manager. So this was a lot of fun. Dr. Wagner, geez Louise. The guy's like, what, 50 and runs around like a 20-year-old? Holy crap.
Dude,
30-year career? Jeez.
I don't know, man. Like, he's one of those guys that I'm thoroughly convinced is like 73% HGH.
Right.
I mean, dude, like, granted, the guy puts his time in, but wow, like, I just look at that guy and I'm just going like, nope, there's no way he could pass a wellness policy test, not even once.
No. Yeah, it'd be really interesting now that you mention that, because there's a lot of wellness policy shit going on in the news, regarding Paige and, all the suspensions happening. And it's just interesting. Obviously, they're not going to hire anybody who would be, whatever he's doing to himself would put anybody else in the ring with him at risk.
Oh, no. I mean, the guy's I look at it from a perspective of what you do with your body is your choice. I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, I have gone on record in the past saying that I don't believe that performance-enhancing drugs should only be allowed in baseball. I think they should be mandatory. I want to see somebody throw a 125-mile-an-hour fastball. I want to see somebody hit an 800-foot home run. These are things I want to see. Because if you're not putting anyone else in danger outside of yourself, and even that is, I mean, I have more belief in the HGH side because that is a more naturally created substance, and you don't see people turning into the Hulk.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a weird one, man. Like, I don't know. But it's like, I mean, like, you look at Cage, like, you look at him and go, man, like, I was like, dude, like, I know you work out like crazy, but damn, dude, like, if you don't, like, just, like, I don't know what else to do, man. Like, you're a fucking monster. I don't even know what else to say. It's like, if somebody said Brian Cage is on performance-enhancing drugs, I would not be remotely shocked. But if somebody said, hey, Brian Cage is clean, I would be like, God damn, are you kidding me? Like,
nah.
Holy shit. Like, it would take me at least 4 or 5 seconds to pull my face back together because my jaw would just,
yeah. Scraping off the floor.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it was a fun match, man. Like, Havoc got some spots in, Sagrada got some spots in, Famous B got his closing spot, and I don't know why Wagner didn't hit Sagrada with the Steiner screwdriver there, with as small as he is.
Yeah.
Like, he already finishes him with that, like, sit down,
it's like a driver.
Michinoku driver, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right there, and it's like, I know that he could hold him, so there's, like, not even a question. I would have popped. Because it's like, there's, like, I've seen that done by Brian Cage, and I about lost my mind, because it's the first time I've seen anybody do that since Scott Steiner.
Yeah.
So
I think that's how he finished off Son of Havoc at the end of last season, too.
Yeah.
So it was just interesting to see this come around to this. And, yeah, I think a lot of people expected, Son of Havoc to get revenge, maybe get a win with this. But, maybe that's still
I don't think so. I think this goes on for a little while.
I'm saying eventually he might get a win, and get his, Dr. Wagner and Famous B get their comeuppance. But in the meantime, if you're interested in starting a career under the alliance of Famous B and Beautiful Brenda, you can call 423 You Suck.
Yes. And I just love the fact that they're chanting that at him. And like, he hits him and he goes, I most definitely do not suck.
Yeah.
like just so matter of fact about it. Like, nope. Mm-mm.
But yeah, next we get an interesting little promo looking forward to a certain individual or group of individuals joining the ranks of Lucha Underground in the very near future. We see what almost looks like something relatively close to an Alice in Wonderland little thing. You're looking down the rabbit hole. This is related to the White Rabbit Tribe. From doing a little bit of research this week, Lucha Underground Facebook page released a picture of what looks like, it's like a symbol of a tribe, and I think this will debut the likes of Mr. Paul London very soon.
I like Paul London.
Yeah.
As long as we get absolute lunatic Paul London promos, I am in. Dude,
I have absolutely no doubt about that. And I'll be honest. I have not seen Paul London since the tag team of Kendrick and London. I have not seen his independent stuff since, but I am really looking forward to this.
Things I have seen Paul London do in the independents, okay? First off, just go on YouTube and look up the Danger Bees promo. There's like 10 of them. It's Paul London and El Generico. You will die.
Oh, nice.
There was this segment where El Generico, aka Sami Zayn, started laughing, and he couldn't stop himself.
Is this Ring of Honor related or no?
No, this was PWG.
Okay, gotcha.
The other thing, another thing I've seen Paul London do, I've seen him take 14 minutes to get from the dressing room to the ring. I literally watched him walk through the crowd and give high fives to people and take pictures. At PCW, he was in a battle royal on like a Friday, and they did another show on Sunday that he was in like the main event or something. So they just said, Paul, go out there and do something crazy. So he just went out and walked around the crowd and did meet and greets and signed autographs. And he's out there walking around in his space helmet, just Paul, go do Paul London things. Okay, and just was gone. But yeah, man, dude, he works all over the world, and I see him turn up in the weirdest friggin' places.
What's that one thing you turned me on to recently? What's it called? Hood Slam?
Hood Slam.
Speaking
of Hood Slam,
I was just going to say,
go ahead. Go ahead.
The last thing I saw Paul London do when you were introduced me to Hood Slam, and I went on their YouTube channel, and I noticed, and I don't know if this is one of the last things or how old it was, I don't remember, so I apologize. But they introduced Paul London. Paul London came down to the ring. He was singing his own entrance music while smoking a cigarette. And the crowd was just booing the shit out of him.
You say smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
I'm going to say if anybody has ever watched How I Met Your Mother, more than likely Paul London was partaking in a sandwich.
Oh no, that's
a very green friendly environment. So anything is possible in that environment. Like I would not run it past anyone on the roster. This is a roster who has Rick Scott and Scott Rick Stoner. Like they're not shy about it.
I hear you. So yeah, I mean, he's done a lot of crazy stuff. It'll be great to see when exactly they show up and what exactly he brings to Lucha Underground. And honestly, with everything we've seen over the course of the last season, to the realms that they'll go to show different supernatural / sci-fi related things, and they don't overdo it. They touch on stuff here and there, like especially with like Katrina,
Right.
They'll be like, oh, she poofed in and out of the room. They don't overdo it. They don't show it all the time.
But with Paul London, like this is right up Paul London's alley.
Yeah.
Like this is Paul London. Like this is perfection for Paul London. And I'm sitting there going like the thing is, I saw it and I'm like, oh, please let there be like Paul London or somebody. Like that would be awesome. And now that I know that it's Paul London, that's super rad because the guy's super creative. Yeah. So I can only imagine what he's going to be able to do within those walls.
And seeing as in the season 3 trailer, he showed up with 2 other guys at his side. I'm guessing we might see these guys in the trios championship realm. That'd be awesome.
I can dig it.
That's just a guess. I'm just saying 3 guys. Hey, why not? But and we'll get to the trios championship, not championships, the trios champions, excuse me, a little later. But next we get a little preview of next week. We're going to get Prince Puma versus Mil Muertes next week, which is nice when they do this. It's nice when they throw little nuggets at you, like, hey, here's what's going on next week, and they don't spoil the whole thing, just a couple matches, And we're also going to get Dario's Dial of Doom will be back. Matanza was not in this episode. Excuse me. Then we get to the Gift of the Gods Championship, which has been promoted quite well this week by Lucha Underground. We got Sexy Star, who is the Gift of the Gods champion, versus Jack Evans. Match 2 of the episode. Man, this was a slower paced match than I expected out of these two, just kind of clobbering the hell out of each other, really. Some good wrestling, though. And certainly not without some shenanigans, as we saw from PJ Black distracting the ref. Mundo spears Sexy Star outside of the ring. So right here, it's looking really bad for Sexy Star. But, like I said, the Trios champs show up. They jump in to help. Aerostar, Drago, and Phoenix show up. And so while all this chaos and distraction stuff is going on inside and outside of the ring, Sexy Star, while Phoenix is distracting the ref, grabs a kendo stick, gives Jack Evans a low blow, and comes out with a win. What'd you think of this match, dude?
Dude, Jack Evans I always thought was astronomically talented, but I never really ever heard him cut a promo. This week I've been watching some WXW World Tag League, and I heard him cut a promo because he was over there tagging with Angelico.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, so, they do a lot of stuff in AAA, I think.
Yeah, they do a lot of stuff in AAA, and of course they do the trios thing, or they did the trios thing here before that went away.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then tonight that in-ring promo, I'm in. Like, that's awesome. Like, knowing that he is that physically talented and he has the ability just to be able to get on the mic and just talk.
Oh, yeah. And that's one thing he's really shown between last season and this season. Between last season, it started with him in that feud with Drago, being the Dragon Slayer. He became very obnoxiously vocal about that, which was like a new side that I'm, because 3 seasons into Lucha Underground, the stuff with Jack Evans is still new to me. I know he's been around a long time. My first introduction to him as, like, so you could say, like, the casual wrestling fan back several years ago was MTV's Wrestling Society X, which that just this shit I've never seen before in my entire life just blew me away.
I think the first time I remember seeing Jack Evans on video, because I've been kind of delving backwards, was like maybe 04, 05 PWG. Like, that I've seen so far, but granted, I'm still finding new stuff all the time, so I may find stuff further back, but it's so weird seeing him then, dude. Like, he looks exactly the same. He just looks a little older.
Yeah, he looks a little more rough now, Back then he was a little more clean, looked more like oh God, what did he look like back? Was the first time I saw him. He looked like he was dressed like a break dancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was his gimmick for a long time. But the one thing I want to point out in this match, what can I say about Sexy Star and Jack Evans? They're both astronomically talented. I think this is kind of a gauntlet going through the Worldwide Underground. That's probably going to culminate to what I'm guessing is going to be Mundo Sexy Star. What I think was happening is I think they're kind of pacing these matches up a little bit to where that way it's kind of every match is getting a little bit bigger, a little bit harder, a little bit bigger, a little bit harder, and then you get to Mundo and you blow the whole thing off. Yeah. It's called building a feud. It's something that in this day and age of wrestling doesn't happen.
Very well. It happens. It's just not done as well. And as we can see here, as we've seen Mundo go in Dario's office how many times this season so far, you know that's where it's headed. He wants that championship, and he's slowly chipping away at, The
one thing, okay, now this is me being a production nerd, and I was totally impressed with it because it's a clever trick because it's a different sound.
Okay.
When Jack Evans got slapped at the end of his promo.
Oh yeah.
Okay, when he got slapped, that was a mix down of 3 different mics, and I could hear 3 different tones. You had the echo was pulled off of basically the crowd miking. So that's when you heard kind of the low and the high, but that really, really meaty sound in the middle, that was due to a complete accident and Jack Evans having the microphone in the completely right place.
Oh, because are you talking about of his
mic? The handheld microphone was still in his hand.
Yeah.
So he got slapped. That rang straight through that microphone.
Okay.
So, and when they did it, when I first heard it, I'm going like, man, that's a clever mix. I'm like, they mix that off like at least 2 different mics, which is awesome. And I could these guys, they spare no expense when it comes to that kind of stuff. So, dude, if they mixed it off 12 different mics, it wouldn't even surprise me.
Yeah. Yeah, and that could be. And another thing they added, excuse me, another thing they added to this, which was, it's all post-production, but it's comical because it's you wouldn't expect anything different from the Worldwide Underground, is when PJ Black had the kendo stick and he's distracting the ref and he's up on the ropes and he does the cold guitar, like the air guitar thing. Oh, dude, that was just fun.
Dude, Mundo escaping under the ring. I'm like, dude, if this doesn't culminate in Sexy Star being tied to a railroad track and Johnny Mundo doing the 1930s villain, just gut laughing, I would totally buy into that because that's what that purely was. It was great. I mean, they've got. I can't say enough good things about the roster. Every match is great, and that's the awesome part about it. But it's the little idiosyncrasies is the stuff that I enjoyed. It was when you see some of their tricks and you kind of see how they're doing different things. It's I've always been a production person, so I'm kind of looking at how they're cutting. I've never been a big camera guy, but it's that kind of interests me. But I'm looking at lighting and I'm looking at physical props and things like that. And I mean, that's stuff that registers in my brain.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, dude, this is going to end up in probably a couple of different feuds. I'm guessing this is going to end up being the Worldwide Underground plus the
Trios champs.
Or as Aero Enix Go, as my friend calls them.
Yeah.
I was like, who? He goes, Aero Enix Go. What? He goes, and I'm like, oh, Aero, never mind, I got it. Okay. And then this will end up breaking off, so it'll be Taya, Jack Evans, and PJ Black versus Aerostar Phoenix and Drago, and then this will culminate in Mundo and Sexy Star, which, dude, that's 2 great matches.
Yeah. Yeah, and someone else is going to end up joining the the Worldwide Underground at some point. I don't know who it is. It's another person we saw in the season 3 trailer. When you see all of them in a row, just like standing there. And I don't. It's someone was in a bandana and shades and had long dark hair. I have no clue who it is. You'd have to go back and be like, you're more familiar with the independent scene than I am, so you might be able to pick him out and be like, oh, boom, yeah, I know exactly who that is.
Now you're gonna now you challenge. You've thrown down the gauntlet, sir. So where can I find this image?
You know what? I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, they've got so many different angles that they could come out from this with, and I mean, and it's like they can continue to add members, like, and then we still have a lot of free agents out there. I mean, Angelica's a free agent. Son of Havoc's a free agent. Ivelisse is kind of doing her own thing. She's got Sami Callihan, so there's another 4. So, yeah, dude, like, this is going to be, I mean, like, every week is going to just get more fun.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and they're not overdoing anything. They're booking it right. For example, we got a promo on, I think it was on their YouTube, of Tejano, talking against
things that Tejano talks against.
Oh, his feud with Brian Cage. It's in the best of 5. We saw that 2 weeks in a row. This week they took the week off, but we still got a promo from Tejano just reminding us that it's going on. So it's okay. Give me a second here. We'll do a little screen share here, and we'll let you and the world look at this, and maybe we'll get some answers. The gentleman on the right.
Why can't I not see this?
You're not seeing it?
Nope.
Well, what the hell?
Technical difficulties.
There it is. Wait. There. Now you see it?
Nope. That's very odd.
Well, I tried.
Post it on your Twitter feed. I can see that.
I'll do that.
Or yeah, post it on your Twitter feed, and I'll look at it.
I'm still getting used to this whole, Google Hangouts thing.
Technologies.
Yeah.
But so this is going to end up in like a massive, like, this is going to end up in a huge trios mess at some point. And it's going to be outrageously fun. So what was next up on the agenda while you're working on that?
Hey, I'm just going to send it to you in a Twitter.
In a message?
Yeah. There you go. Sent. All right, so we got the Gift of the Gods Championship. Sexy Star retains with a whole lot of shenanigans to boot. Match number 2. Then, and we talked about this already, about Chavo wanting to get into the match with Pentagon Jr. Oh, damn. Excuse me. Ray shows up once in the match. And those two start sparring in the office. Dario Cueto starts masturbating while he's sitting there watching them. The smile on his face is so massively huge. Oh, damn it. I didn't send it. There it is.
Yay!
Yay! Brain. I can talk and do shit at the same time. So you look at that, and we get match number 3. Pentagon Dark versus Chavo Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio. holy shit, this was just a whole lot of fun. I wish we would have gotten a little more time with this match, but this was still a crap ton of awesome, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, dude. That, I was like, when I looked at the clock and I'm like, oh, like I could watch those three. I mean, because you got three such varying styles.
Yeah.
And that's the part that's so great about it. And dude, the fact that Chavo plays the classic dirty heel.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I missed that so much, and I didn't realize how much I missed it until I saw it.
And I tell you what, man, what's also great is we've seen these two in Lucha Underground for a season now, but we haven't seen a ton of interaction. And it made me remember back to when the last time that I remember them being in a big feud against each other, and I don't remember what year it was. And I think they mentioned it in the episode, actually. Obviously, they're not going to say WWE. But there was an I Quit match, and Ray was hanging upside down just like he was in this one at the very end, which was also like a nice little flashback. You know, not that you want to see, Rey Mysterio destroyed, but still, it was awesome. Rey Mysterio hanging upside down by one of the stage trusses, whatever the hell you call them, stage supports, and Chavo just wailing on him with a chair until he was screaming, "I quit." And that led to Rey Mysterio going away for several months, I believe. One of his many exits, going to have a million knee surgeries, unfortunately. But yeah, it was a great I'm trying to remember what year that was. It was like mid-2000. It was at least 10 years ago, if not more. Wasn't it?
Yeah, that... Oh, man. I don't know. That was a... I'm trying to think. God, what year was that?
Good thing I have the WWE Network for $9.99. They're WWE. There's your plug. Pay me. Do you know what I'm talking about, though? Do you remember the match? It was brutal.
Yeah. Hold on.
Hell, it's probably on YouTube, too. But nonetheless, while you're contemplating that...
yeah, it's like he looks familiar, and I think I know who he is.
Oh, you're looking at the picture I sent you?
Yeah.
We're just jumping conversations here.
Yeah. That's what we do here. Dude,
if you watch
Gentle Masters.
If you watch the trailer, this scene is just like a second, 2 seconds long, and the guy on the right is walking into the screen, and he's there for such a short period of time. It's like, oh, who is... Oh, and then it jumps to the next thing. That's what the whole trailer does. It just jumps from thing to thing.
I have to do some research, but I think I know who it is, and I should have an answer for you here really shortly.
Okay. Because I've been wondering about... I almost know who everyone is in the trailer, with the exception of the two guys.
It looks like Trent Beretta, but I don't think it is.
Yeah,
like,
he's... No.
The leanness of his body, like he's almost too lean.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to have to do some research. But see, like, the cool part about Lucha Underground is, like, one of Lucha Underground's primary one of their primary talent locations is Mexico. And due to Mexico not playing ball, or none of the CMLL or AAA doing more English commentary, it's unfortunate because, like, I really, really want to get into the product, but I can't. there's too much story. Like, okay, like in Japan, it's like I don't really need the commentary. It's two guys squaring off the holy hell out of each other. That's it.
Yeah.
In Mexico, with the lucha heritage and everything that goes with it, it's like I feel like I'm losing so much more without the commentary. Because I know that there's stories here, and some of these masks have traveled through generations of a family, and it's like I know that from reading online, but like they need that JR. They need that somebody that knows the story that's bridging the gap.
Yeah.
So I mean, and it's something where, to me, it's cool because it's like every once in a while somebody will just appear, and it's like, holy crap, where did that person come from?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he's been working in CMLL for like the last 6 years. Where have you been, Laz? I'm not watching CMLL, obviously.
Yeah, come on, jeez.
Sorry. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a crazy rest of the season. Like every week, we get a little bit more and a little bit more. Like last week, we got the note. That kind of teased a debut, and then we got the promo this week to tease another debut. And I mean, and I think at that point that should be all of our debuts for the season, right?
Oh God, it's gonna be such a long season. We're 6 episodes into a 40-episode season.
True.
We're not even close to halfway done. So.
Ultimate Lucha is going to be 10 episodes this year.
I don't think there's going to be that many more surprises. There'll be a couple because there's a couple people, like I said in the trailer, that I'm not real sure of. But nonetheless, it's going to be awesome. But back to this match number 3. It's finished with Pentagon Dark, which I'm still not used to saying Pentagon Dark because I see him still wrestling in videos all over the place, and he's not known as Pentagon Dark.
Yeah.
Like down in Illinois, he's still Pentagon Jr., and I think he's champ down there.
Oh, at AAW?
Yeah, AIW. One of those, yeah, something.
Yeah. He was champ there? I think he got beat by Sami Callihan.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Because I know they just had a
Callahan
match.
held the title there, and he actually dropped it to Pentagon because at one point Callahan was the AAW and PWX champions.
Could be.
So, yeah, I mean, they've been working a lot in the indies, and if they get together in this show, that is going to be so much fun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have no clue who Sammy's all going to hit in this season 3 of Lucha Underground, but
he's the mystery because all we know that he has some level of relationship with Ivelisse. Outside of that, no clue.
Well, yeah, and he's there. There's a picture, or not? I shouldn't say a picture. There's a quick, really flash segment in the season 3 trailer where Mil Muertes and someone else. I'd have to go back and watch it. It's one of the reveals that he's in the season, and he looks badass. But it's like I said, everything happens so fast. You have to go back and go almost like frame by frame, like I did, because I'm like the Lucha Underground nerd that actually did this because I'm stupid like that. Anyways,
my thing is like this is the one wrestling, unless I'm watching it live, that isn't spoiled for me because I literally watched the trailer and went, "Huh, that's pretty cool." Yeah. It's like I saw AR Fox, I saw Sami Callihan, and then like I missed Paul London altogether. I don't know how, but I did.
Oh yeah, if you go back, it's the guy in the white jacket and the black top hat, and he's actually in it a couple times. Yeah.
Huh.
So yeah, Pentagon Jr. gets the pin on Rey Mysterio, gives him a package pile driver, and finishes him off. But then Chavo continues to attack the hell out of him with a chair, even a beat down to senior referee Marty, what's his name? Marty Elias?
Yeah.
Marty Elias. One quick side note too, and I was going to say this in the last match that happened. I don't know if we had talked about this last week. I can't remember. I'm sorry. It's my, senility creeping in. PJ Black being, the distraction in the Gift of the Gods championship match was injured.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
Did we? Were he busted
both his ankles?
Okay, I couldn't remember if we mentioned that or not. Okay, so I was going to quickly. Okay.
Yeah, it was good to see PJ standing.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, isn't he?
Like, oh my God, he's healed. Oh, it's a miracle. He's healed.
Mago, where did he come from?
No. He just filmed that 4 months ago. That's so much less exciting. I thought this was like the full-on Lucha Underground experience.
So yeah, we get a little sneak peek of something mysterious coming to the Lucha Underground. We get some awesome matches, and we get a nice little flashback as old WWE fans looking back to the old, or even beyond WWE, the old feud of Rey Mysterio versus Chavo Guerrero Jr. And according to Vampiro, who even dated it back farther to a locker room happening back in '88, which is like, holy crap. This feud is almost 30, between 25 to 30 years old. Jeez Louise, It's like these guys aren't old farts, but man, the lineage is there, and it's awesome that they touch on it like there, which is just, it's another
they
great...
don't run from their history? What a novel concept.
Right? And it's just another nod.
And the weird part about it is it's not even their history. It is their prerogative to make up all the history they want. But they're using reality because it's a great story.
Yeah, and it's just another great reason why Matt Striker and Vampiro are such an intricate part of this brand.
Dude, the one thing I will give Vampiro tonight, and he cracks me up because he does it and I don't even think he knows he does it. But it's like every once in a while, he'll say something that's completely closed-ended and matter-of-fact, and then kind of sit there and wait for Stryker's response. It's like full-on Vampiro Cosell. He's like fully embracing his Howard Cosell.
Yeah.
It's like, he's like, well, yeah, that move was very violent. And you just and you see, you can look, you can just hear in Stryker's head, just like, oh God, give me something. Anything. Just give me something all right, screw it. We're going in. Oh man, you know what, Vampiro, you're right. This match is violent. It's like
what an awesome play.
It's like, oh my goodness, he scored a field goal. What? Matt, what year is it? Vampiro, where are you?
Field goal.
Okay, he scored a field goal. He scored a field goal in the hockey goal. In the soccer goal, he stopped it. Wait, what? Okay. No, but he does it, and it just cracks me up because it's like all of the neurons line up, and then they drift back off again. Like he has this moment where it's just like, and clarity, and we're out. Like it's just, but it's fun. It's like it's part of the dynamic of the team.
Yeah, yeah, and they've gotten so much better since the start because I'll be honest, when I first started watching, I mean, I loved the product just because it was so new and so fresh, so original. I knew who Vampiro was. I obviously knew who Matt Striker was. I had no idea Matt Striker was going to be this good as a ringside analyst or even had a clue how much fun it would be to listen to Vampiro do, color commentary / play a character at the same time.
Well, okay.
Dealing with personal issues in and out of the ring,
The thing is like, you say playing a character. I just think at this point, Vampiro's Vampiro.
No, I'm talking about because sometimes he's playing off of Matt Stryker. Sometimes Pentagon Dark now is in the ring, and all of a sudden it'll switch to whoa. Like it was like last week or the week before, Pentagon Dark was outside of the ring, locked eyes with Vampiro, and all of a sudden Vampiro just dropped his headset and walked out. Like, whoa,
Yeah.
So
Dude,
it's just those little going back and forth.
His marks. He hits his marks.
Yeah.
And to me, it's awesome because what's going to happen out of this is when Lucha Underground, considering Lucha Underground is going to go on for like 40 or 50 more seasons, but whenever it's finally done, Matt Stryker is going to be able to find a commentary job working for someone else. And honestly, my hope would be New Japan. A solid voice that can call wrestling, bringing it to an English-speaking audience.
Well, hasn't he already? Who did the last? Doesn't he already do that with Kevin Kelly from Ring of Honor?
I think this. The commentary team is normally Carino and Kelly.
Oh, okay. In Japan, okay, because I don't have New Japan. What's it called?
New Japan World.
New Japan World. Thank you. I've seen a few of their.
You missed out on some. Oh, dude! If you could find it online, look for Okada versus Marufuji.
Is that the one that
so good? Yes.
Yeah, I downloaded it. It's on my to-do list.
It was so good.
Yeah.
It's a. There were 2 matches on that show that were both outstanding. The Naito match. Dude, it's like up and down the card was great. It's like I couldn't.
Elgin and Naito.
That was a great match as well. Like that was the crazy part. Like that match was great. Okada versus Marufuji was great, and Omega versus Goto was on par with the G1 final.
Okay.
It was a little bit of a step down, but I think at this point, Goto's ready to move on to something else, and I think Omega's ready to start kind of lining up to make us run at the Tokyo Dome.
Another thing on my to-do list is to watch the last big Ring of Honor show with the ladder. What's that called? Ladder War 6.
Yes, that was a fun one, dude.
Yeah, that's also on my to-do list.
Was it the Bucks, the Addiction, and Motor City Machine Guns?
Yeah, that right there. That's if that wasn't. Don't spoil it for me. But in my opinion, that should have been if it wasn't the main event because I don't know what all happened. But it's on my to-do list. So
it was, and to completely spoil it for you, it was rated a 5-star match.
By who?
Dave Meltzer.
I thought you were going to say that.
But you know what, man? People can knock Meltzer all they want, but you know what? You use him as a measuring stick because the guy's seen a lot of wrestling. Yeah. You may differ from him. You may differ from him opinion-wise on certain things, but use the guy as a filter. If the guy says, "Oh, well, this match is 5 stars." Okay, cool. Then at that point, you look at what Dave Meltzer sees as a 5-star match, and then what you see as a 5-star match, and then you know that, hey, you know what? The matches I really enjoy are typically Meltzer's 4-star matches, so I'm going to look at those.
Yeah,
so, it's all just finding what you like, man. That's what it's all about.
And what's nice is, and I catch his show once in a great while. I'll catch segments of it. The fact that he's actually talking about Lucha Underground here and there is actually pretty cool too. Doesn't sound like he's real hip on it, but whatever. Not everybody is.
Everybody's got their own thing, and we'll continue to run there as quickly as possible.
There you go. So that's going to do it for this one. Pretty much, guess we got a little sidetracked onto other things.
What?
But hey,
Us?
That's just what we do. And if you don't, if you think this is bad, go check out the Ramblers sometime. The Rambling About Wrestling podcast, which I am also a part of. Yeah, we're guilty of that too. So thank you so much for joining us this week in this rundown of Lucha Underground, Season 3, Episode 6, The Open Road to Revenge. Episode 7 next week. We already got a little preview of that. We get Prince Puma versus Mil Muertes. Can't wait for that. Also, Dario's Dial of Doom. So, Matanza will be back facing question mark.
But see, you know what? The one thing that's nice about Lucha Underground is when they put up the little graphic of Matanza versus question mark man.
Yeah.
We can be guaranteed that it's not Kane. it like that makes question mark man so much more exciting. It's like, oh my God, it's not Kane. Yes.
It's vacant.
Yeah.
Vacant. Exactly. Vacant invades Lucha Underground.
Yay.
Vacant has had a run all over the professional wrestling industry, and now,
yeah. All right, we got to turn out the lights on this thing, or else we're going to go on for roughly 6 hours and 50 more minutes.
But YouTube will allow us to, but we're not going to.
I know. But I got to go to work tomorrow, and I'll be a crabby panda if I have to podcast till I go to work.
Yeah, I completely understand that. So that's going to wrap it up for this one. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you here live next week like we are every week for Lucha Underground and also all the other things that I decide to do randomly on this channel with whoever decides to show up. For this guy, I am JAYBONE. Thank you so much for listening. See ya!
Turn out the lights!